Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, Basai, Surajpur. Today I am here with my activity, and my activity shows the concept of increasing and decreasing function. So let's see the activity. Here I have taken two curves, curve C1 and curve C2. From this curve I have drawn the tangent, and the tangent is joined to the x-axis. We have joined it from the x-axis because we know that slope is defined as tan theta, and here the value of theta should be alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha 3. We know that the derivative of curve is tan theta. Derivative of curve is tan theta, and if the first derivative of the function is greater than 0, then it is increasing function, and if it is less than 0, then it is a decreasing function. So let's see the curve number 1. From the point P1, P2, P3, we have taken the tangent and joined it to the x-axis. So let's see the angle of alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 with the help of measure it with the help of protractor. So by measuring it in the alpha 1, we see the value is greater than 90 degree, it is approx 100, and in alpha 2 the value is also greater than 90 degree. Similarly in alpha 3 also the value is greater than 90 degree. If the values are greater than 90 degree, it means tan theta lies on the second quadrant, and we know that when tan theta lies on second quadrant we get a negative value, and we are getting a negative value, it means that it is a decreasing function. In the curve second, we see that the value as beta 1, beta 2 and beta 3. The value of beta 1 is less than 90 degree. Similarly, the value of beta 2 is also less than 90 degree, and value of beta 3 is also less than 90 degree. It means that the tan theta lies on the first quadrant. If tan theta lies on the first quadrant, the values are positive value. It means that our curve shows an increasing function. So from here we see that if the slope is getting a positive value, we get an increasing function, and if the slope get a negative value, we get a decreasing function. So through this activity we can demonstrate the concept of increasing and decreasing function. Thank you so much.
My name is Sujal Kesri. I am a student of class 12th in Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, Basai, Surajpur. I am here with my mathematics model, which is based on definite integration. Our objective is to evaluate definite integral of under root 1 minus x square as the limit of a sum and verify it by actual integration. As you can see here, we have taken the area under the curve under root 1 minus x square from the interval 0 to 1, which is divided into 10 strips of equal width. As the length P0 P10 is 1 unit, the width of each strip becomes 0.1 unit. Now as you can see, the shape of each strip is like that of a trapezium, each trapezium having equal height, which is 0.1 unit. Now the area of each trapezium can be calculated by using the formula half the product of height and sum of parallel sides, and through this we can calculate the area under this curve by summing up the areas of these trapeziums. Let us now move to the calculations. Here we have calculated the area of each trapezium and summed up all these areas to get our result. Also we have calculated the same by actual integration. As you can see, both the values come out to be nearly same. So through this model we understand the concept of definite integration and its application in finding area under a curve. Thank you.
I am student of class 12 from JNV Basai, Surajpur. I'm going to explain my mathematics model based upon exponential and logarithmic functions. In this, I'm going to explain that exponential function curve and logarithmic function curve are mirror image to each other. So now we can see that this curve represents the exponential function. Now we can see that this curve shows the exponential function curve, and this curve shows the logarithmic function curve. We can see that both are mirror image of each other. We can see that this logarithmic function shows the mirror image, and also we can see that it looks like exponential function. Thank you.
My name is Srishti Tripathi and I am student of class 12 from Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, Basdei, Surajpur. Today I am here to represent my maths project which is based on three-dimensional geometry. On the topic, I will explain the concept of distance from a point to a plane. इस प्रोजेक्ट में हमको निकालना है इस P पॉइंट से इस KLMN प्लेन का परपेंडिकुलर डिस्टेंस, जिसमें ये जो प्लेन है वो पॉइंट A, B और C से पास होते हुए जा रहा है। तो डिस्टेंस निकालने के लिए हम लोग को यहाँ पे इस प्लेन का इक्वेशन चाहिए, और इक्वेशन हम लोग यहाँ पे देखिए कैसे निकालेंगे। यहाँ पे हमने 3 पॉइंट लिए हैं, AB वेक्टर, AR वेक्टर और AC वेक्टर। ठीक है, यहाँ पे AB वेक्टर और AR वेक्टर और AC वेक्टर तीनों वेक्टर्स ही एक ही प्लेन में लाई कर रहे हैं, इसलिए कोप्लेनर है, और इनके मैग्नीट्यूड का जो डिटरमिनेंट हम जो लेंगे वो इक्वल टू 0 होगा। तो यहाँ पे AR वेक्टर का जो मैग्नीट्यूड है उसको हम कैसे निकालेंगे, x -1, y -4 और z -4, मतलब r पॉइंट के कोऑर्डिनेट को a पॉइंट कोऑर्डिनेट से सब्ट्रैक्ट करेंगे, और उसको मैंने रो फर्स्ट में लिया हुआ। सिमिलरली AB वेक्टर के साथ करेंगे और AC वेक्टर के साथ करेंगे, मतलब AB वेक्टर और AC वेक्टर के मैग्नीट्यूड को R2 और रो 2 और रो 3 में मैंने लिया है, और ये तीनों ही वेक्टर कोप्लेनर है, इसलिए इनका जो डिटरमिनेंट का वैल्यू आ गया वो 0 होगा। तो इनसे हम लोग को जो प्लेन का इक्वेशन मिला है वो है 18x + y + 80z = 298। अब इस प्लेन से इस इक्वेशन से हम इस पॉइंट P, इस इक्वेशन का यूज करते हुए हम इस पॉइंट P से इस प्लेन का डिस्टेंस निकाल सकते हैं। तो डिस्टेंस का जो फॉर्मूला होता है वो है मॉड के अंदर ax0 + by0 + cz0 + d अपॉन √ में a² + b² + c²। जो a b c है वो डायरेक्शन रेशियो है इस प्लेन के नॉर्मल के। तो यहाँ पे अब x0, y0 और z0 जो है वो पॉइंट P के कोऑर्डिनेट है, और यहाँ पॉइंट P के कोऑर्डिनेट को पुटअप करते हुए जो कि है 8, -2 और 6 रखते हुए यहाँ पे हम अपना डिस्टेंस निकाल लेंगे, और इसी तरह से हमारा प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट होता है। और हमने यहाँ पे अपना डिस्टेंस इस पॉइंट से इस प्लेन का निकाल लिया, जो कि आया है 7.58 यूनिट्स। तो मेरा प्रोजेक्ट यहाँ पे कंप्लीट होता है। थैंक यू।
My name is Javardhan Singh. I am a student of 12th class at Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, Basdei, Surajpur. Today I am here to demonstrate an activity, and my activity is to verify the angle in a semicircle is right angle through Mector method. So let us see activity. I have drawn a circle with center O and diameter AB. I have taken some points P, Q, R, S on the circle and connected the center with Q as position vector R, with R as position vector P, and with B to position vector A, and with A with position vector minus of A. Now we can measure the angle through this movable thread. It comes out to be 90 degree. Taking any point in the semicircle, we can find the angle in the semicircle is 90 degree. But we need to prove it through vector method. So on taking the triangle AQB and applying the triangle of vector addition on the two triangles AOQ and QOB, you can find the value of the position vector AQ and BQ. So applying the law, we can find the value of AQ vector as R vector plus A vector and BQ vector as R minus A vector. Now taking the dot product of the two vectors, it comes out to be the magnitude of R square minus of A square. This becomes 0 because both the vectors magnitude is equal to the radius of the circle. From here AQ is perpendicular to BQ, hence from this, if the dot product of the two vectors is 0, then the angle between them is 90 degree. So from this activity we can learn the concept of dot product of the vector, magnitude of the vectors and opposite vectors. Thank you.
My name is Saurabh Kumar Sahu. I am a student of class 12th in Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya Basdai Surajpur. I am here with my mathematics model which is based on equation of a plane. My objective is to demonstrate the equation of a plane in normal form. As we can see here, we have two planes. This is our first plane and this is our second plane. This is our normal vector which is perpendicular to first plane as well as second plane. Line joining O point and A point represent R vector which is positive vector of point A. Line joining O point and P point represent A vector which is positive vector of point P. N vector or normal vector is perpendicular to R vector minus A vector. Normal vector or N vector is perpendicular to planes. It is not direction cosine of the vectors. R vector minus A vector is perpendicular to N vector, so R vector minus A vector dot N vector is equal to R vector minus A vector modulus into N vector modulus into cos 90 degree. Since cos 90 degree is equal to 0, R vector minus A vector dot N vector is equal to 0, which gives the equation of the first plane in normal form.
Hello, this is Utsav Malakar of class 12 science, and today I am here to represent my maths project related to topic function. The main objective of my project is to demonstrate a function which is 1 but not onto function. So before starting, I would like to tell you the meaning of 1 and onto function. A function is said to be a 1 function or a injection if different elements of x have different images in y.
whereas function is said to be an onto function or a surjection if every element of y is the pre-image of some element of x. So the material required for this project are a cardboard, pins, rubber band and adhesives, etc. Here in x there are two elements a and b, and in y there are three elements 1, 2 and 3. Here I have joined the element a to element 2 of y and element b to element 3 of y. Now it is clearly shown from here that the image of the element a of x in y is 2 and the image of b of x is y in 3. So this function represents 1 function, and every element in x has a unique image in y. So the function is 1 and the pre-image of the element 1 of y does not exist, so the function is not onto. Application of this project can be used to demonstrate the concept of 1 but not onto function. Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Sekhar Gupta. Today I am going to explain my mathematics model, and its topic is tracing of cos inverse x using the graph of cos x and demonstrating the concept of mirror reflection of inverse function. Here I have taken different values of cos function for different angle values, and the curve of cos x is represented here by blue line, as you can see. Then I have made a line y equals to x and draw perpendicular to y equals to x from each point of cos curve. Then extended the perpendicular line to the same distance, that is from cos curve. Then by joining all these points with each other, we got the tracing of cos inverse x. Here cos inverse x graph is shown from y equals to cos inverse x with red line, as you can see in the project. Thank you.
Myself Nitish Khes, and I am presenting mass model, and its topic is to verify geometrically that C vector cross A vector plus B vector is equal to C vector cross A vector plus C vector cross B vector. It is also called that distribution law of vector. You can see in picture OBQA is a parallelogram and another one is OCPA. OC vector equal to OB vector plus BC vector is equal to A vector plus B vector, and let angle COA is alpha. Then mod of C vector plus cross A vector plus B vector is equal to mod of C vector into A vector plus B vector into sin alpha is equal to area of parallelogram OAPC. Then mod of C vector cross A vector is equal to area of parallelogram OAQB. mod of C vector cross B vector is equal to area of parallelogram BQPC. Then area of parallelogram OAPC is equal to OA cross CL. Then OA into LN plus NC is equal to OA into BM plus NC. Then OA into BM plus OA into NC. Then area of parallelogram OAQB plus area of parallelogram BQPC is mod of C vector plus A vector plus mod of C vector cross B vector. So mod of C vector cross A vector plus B vector is equal to mod of C vector cross B vector plus C vector cross B vector. It is direction of each of these vectors: C vector cross A vector plus B vector, C vector cross A vector, and C vector into B vector is perpendicular to the plane, same plane. So C vector cross A vector plus B vector is equal to C vector cross A vector plus C vector cross B.
Myself, Suraj Sahu, studying in class 12th, Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, Basdei, Surajpur. Today I am here to present my maths project in front of you, and my topic is shortest distance between two skew lines. First of all, we have to know about skew lines. What are skew lines? Skew lines are two lines that do not intersect and are not parallel to each other. And skew lines are only exist in three-dimensional. Two lines are skew if and only if they are not coplanar. Here I am take three blocks of size 2 into 2 into 2 centimeter as first, second and third, and another one is 2 into 2 into 4 centimeter as fourth. Place block first, second, third and fourth such that their base centers are at given coordinates. Place a thread that joins P and Q. The center of the bases of the block first and second, then take another thread that joins the center of R and S of the top of block third and fourth as shown in graph. These two threads are represent two skew lines. We can say that vector A1 and vector A2 are 2 point vector along line PQ and RS. And we can say vector B1 and vector B2 are line along PQ and RS have any magnitude. Now we have to find out the shortest distance between two skew lines, and its formula is D is equals to B1 vector cross B2 vector dot A2 vector minus A1 vector upon modulus B1 vector cross B2 vector modulus close whole modulus. Here A1 vector is equals to 4i cap plus 3j cap, A2 vector is equals to 3i cap minus 16j cap plus 2k cap, B1 vector is equals to 12i cap plus 11j cap, B2 vector is equals to 17i cap minus 13j cap plus 2k cap. by putting the values in formula. Here the result comes out is 3.01 centimeter. This activity can be used to explain skew lines and shortest distance between two skew lines.
Hello there, my name is Shreyans Kumar Singh and I am here to present my mathematics model, and its topic is application of derivatives. So here I have taken a rectangular sheet of 20 into 10 dimension and I cutted out a square from each corner of this rectangular sheet with equal length. And here I have to form a box with open above side, and I repeated this experiment with different values of square length and formed the value of x such that the volume of box found to be maximum. This experiment can be used for explaining the concept of maxima and minima, and it is also useful in making packages of maximum and minimum volumes. I hope you like it, and thank you.
Hello, myself Monica Tiwari from class 12th A. I am here to introduce you from my project, that is to understand the concept of local minima, local maxima and the point of inflection. For this I had taken a cardboard and pasted a yellow paper in it as you see here, and I had also used two black thread. This is to represent x and y axis. This is the x axis and this is the y axis. I had also used a red thread to represent the curve. This is the red thread which represents the curve. I had also denoted some points, that is A, B, C, D and P, which are the tangent of the curve which is parallel to the x-axis. The tangent at A, B, C, D, here the first derivative, the value of the first derivative is 0. And at P, it intersects the curve. So, if we see the point A and B, at the point A, the value of the first derivative sign which change from negative to the positive. That means the value here, this is the point of local minima, and the same concept applies here. Its first derivative sign change from negative to the positive. This is the point of local minima. And when we go through the C and D, here the first derivative point sign change from positive to the negative. That means this is the point of local maxima. But at the point P, it is neither the local minima nor the local maxima. This is the point of inflection because it cuts the curve. And here the sign doesn't change from negative to positive or positive to the negative. Here the sign remains constant. Either it is positive, then it remains the positive. If it is negative, it remains the negative. But here it is the positive and positive. So it is the point of inflection. Through this, the whole concept of this model is that to represent the local minima, local maxima and the point of inflection. The conclusion of this is that when we see that the first derivative of the sign of the first derivative change from negative to the positive, that means this is the point of local minima. And when the sign change from positive to the negative, that means this is the point of local maxima. And when the sign remains constant, that means this is the point of local neither the local minima nor the local maxima. This is the point of inflection. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day.
my model is based on absolute maxima and absolute minima. So I plotted the graph of the function f of x is equals to 4x square minus 9 into x square minus 1. I had taken some points of this function and plotted the graph of the function. As we know that the maximum point of the graph represents the absolute maxima and minimum points of the graph represents the absolute minima. So absolute maxima, we obtained absolute maxima at this point and absolute minima at this point. Thank you.
Good evening, respected ma'am. Myself Sanket Jasar from class 12th, and I am going to present you my mathematics model 2020-21, which is based on the chapter application of derivatives of class 12th NCERT mathematics. So in this model I am going to explain concept of rate of change of optimization of a function. So for that explanation I have cut here 9 rectangles of different dimensions. So according to that function, the length of the rectangle decreases at the rate of 1 centimeter per second, and the breadth of the rectangle increases at the rate of 2 centimeter per second. So here we can see that in this rectangle R1, the length of the rectangle is 14 centimeter and the breadth of the rectangle is 4 centimeter. So after 1 second, according to the function, the length of the rectangle is 13 centimeter, which is 1 centimeter less than the previous one, and the breadth of this rectangle is 6 centimeter, that is 2 less than the previous one. So likewise here we have cut all the rectangles with different dimensions according to that function. So if you observe the area of the rectangles, here the rectangle R7 has the maximum area among all the rectangles given here. So it means that if we put the values of length and breadth in the function in the place of L and B, we can get the maximum area according to that function. So here my explanation of this model is over. Thank you and may you have a nice day.
Hi there, my name is Amanjit Singh and today I am going to explain my math model. Its topic is tracing of sine inverse of x using the graph of sin x and demonstrate the concept of mirror reflection of inverse function. Here I have taken different values of sine function for different angle values, and the curve of sin x is represented by here and the curve of sin x is represented here by red thread, as you can see. Then I have made a line y is equals to x and draw a perpendicular to y is equals to x. From each point of sin x curve, extend the perpendicular line to equal distance, that is from sin x curve. Then by joining all these points with each other, we get the tracing of sine inverse of x. Here sine inverse of x is shown by yellow thread, as you can see. So we can also perform these activities to get inverse function of other trigonometric trigonometric ratios. So here's my model. Hope you like it. Thank you.
everyone, myself Krishan Shaw and I am present here with my mathematics model, which topic is equivalence relation. So our theme is to verify that the relation R in the set L of all lines in the plane is an equivalence relation. So let we take an set of all lines L where some lines are parallel to each other or perpendicular to each other. So here we can see that each line is parallel to itself. So the relation R is an reflexive relation, and we can see that L2 is parallel to L3 and L3 is parallel to L2. So we can say that the relation R is also a symmetric relation. Then we can see that here L2 is parallel to L3, L3 is parallel to L4 and L2 is parallel to L4. So we can say that the relation R is an transitive relation. Hence we can see that the relation R is an equivalence relation.
Hey, my name is Akash Kumar Anand. Here I am discussing symmetric relations. In first we see that L4 is parallel to L5. It implies that L4 is also parallel to L5. If L4 is parallel to L5, implies that L5 is also parallel to L4. Is parallel to is a symmetric relation. And second, we see that line is perpendicular to L5. It means that L1 is perpendicular to L4. And it implies that L4 is also perpendicular to L1. And in second, L1 is perpendicular to L5. It also implies that L5 is perpendicular to L1, and hence is parallel to its symmetric relation.
Hello everyone, my name is Ravi Das of class 12th B. Today I am going to give a short explanation on my project. That's topic is the point of maxima in volume of a cuboid. So here I starts.
ये हमारा मैथ्स का मॉडल है जिसमें हमें एक रेक्टेंगुलर शीट दिया गया है और उसके कॉर्नर को स्क्वायर के शेप में कट करके हमें मैक्सिमम वॉल्यूम वाला एक क्यूबाइड बनाना है। तो आप देख रहे हैं कि चित्र में किस तरह से ओपन टॉप वाला बॉक्स बना है। तो यहाँ पर प्रश्न ये उठता है कि स्क्वायर की ऐसी कौन सी लेंथ लेकर काटें कि हम लोगों का मैक्सिमम वॉल्यूम वाला टॉप ओपन बॉक्स बन जाए। तो इसे हम मैक्सिमा के कॉन्सेप्ट के हिसाब से निकालेंगे। तो हम स्क्वायर की साइड x ले लेंगे। तो इससे क्यूबाइड की हाइट हमें मिल जाएगी, क्योंकि जितनी बड़ी स्क्वायर की साइड होगी वही क्यूबाइड की हाइट होगी। अब क्यूबाइड की लेंथ है 20 - 2x और उसकी चौड़ाई है 10 - 2x और हाइट x। तो इसकी वॉल्यूम हो जाएगी 20 - 2x इंटू
10 - 2x इंटू x इज इक्वल टू 4x क्यूब माइनस 60x स्क्वायर प्लस 200x। फिर हम इसे डिफ्रेंशिएट कर देंगे तो हमें x की 2 वैल्यू मिलेगी। एक x इज इक्वल टू 15 प्लस 5√69 होल डिवाइडेड बाई 3 और दूसरा 15 माइनस 5√69 होल डिवाइडेड बाई 3। तो इसमें से पॉजिटिव वाला रिजेक्ट हो जाएगा और दूसरे वैल्यू को इस क्यूबिक इक्वेशन के सेकंड डेरिवेटिव में रख देंगे। उससे हमको सेकंड डेरिवेटिव की नेगेटिव यानी 0 से कम वाली वैल्यू मिल जाएगी। वही हमारा पॉइंट ऑफ मैक्सिमा होगा, यानी कि उस x की उस वैल्यू वाली, यदि हम इस स्क्वायर की साइड कट करेंगे तो हमें मैक्सिमम वॉल्यूम वाला क्यूबाइड मिलेगा। तो यहीं पर हमारा
साहू है। मैं कक्षा 12वीं का गणित का छात्र हूँ। मैंने 3D ज्योमेट्री का ग्राफ बनाया है। ये y इक्वल टू x है। जैसे कि देखते हैं हम, ये पॉइंट x एक्सिस में 4 है, y एक्सिस में 1 है, z एक्सिस में 3 है, 2 पे -2 x एक्सिस में है, 2 y एक्सिस में है, z 2 एक्सिस में है। उसी प्रकार ये भी x एक्सिस में 3 है, y एक्सिस में -5 है, z एक्सिस में 4 है। उसी प्रकार ये भी x एक्सिस में -2 है, -3y पे है और 2 z पे है।